Okay, so I gave you this sheet at the end of class. I'd like you to take it out now because it's what we're going to look at. We need to do a little practice for rearranging equations. Kind of like when you're solving for x and you needed to get the x all by itself. But in physics sometimes we have an equation. This one you should recognize from grade 10 science. Sometimes we don't want to solve for the a, we want to solve for the vi or the vf or the delta t. Hopefully you recognize the a is acceleration, the vf is the final velocity, the vi is the initial velocity, and the delta t is the change in time. But if you don't worry about it. We will get to defining the terms soon. We're coming to the end of all this math stuff, and now we'll move into actually doing the physics. Okay, so I tried to leave you space right here for you to be able to do it, but for those of you that need more space, feel free to shift into your notebooks. So first it wants you to take this equation and it wants you to rearrange for VI. And just so I can do it big enough for you to see, I'm going to do it on this page, okay? So we want to rearrange for VI, which means we want to get the VI all by itself. So to do that, you need to get the delta t first off the bottom. So to get the delta t off the bottom, you would need to multiply both sides by delta t. Right? So it would become a delta t is equal to VF minus VI. And I want to rearrange for VI. So I'd probably, now I need to get the VI by itself. I would probably take the VI over to the left-hand side because I always like my unknown over here. And I always like my unknown to be positive. So if I take it over here, it becomes positive. And then I would bring my a delta t over. So when I say take it over, meaning I would add VI to both sides. And I would subtract a delta t from both sides. And so when I do that, I will end up with VI, because it's come over here, is equal to VF minus a delta t. And I have now rearranged that given equation for VI. Okay, so that's the first one, A. B wants you to use exactly the same equation, but it wants you to rearrange for VF. So write your original equation down again. A is equal to VF minus VI over delta t. And this time you want to get VF alone. So again, to begin to get VF alone, you need to get the delta t off the bottom. So again, multiply both sides by delta t. And when you do, you'll get a delta t is equal to VF minus VI. This time I want the VF all by itself. So that's actually easier than the one above. I just need to get rid of the VI so I can add VI to both sides. So I'm left with VI plus a delta t equals VF. And because I'm anal, I would need to rewrite it as VF is equal to VI plus a delta t because I like my unknown on the left-hand side. But it's fine if you leave it like above. All right? And the third one with this equation that it wants you to do is it wants you to rearrange for delta t. Okay? So A is equal to VF minus VI over delta t. So stop the video for a second, rearrange for delta t, then turn the video back on, and we'll do it together. Okay? So stop the video. I'll wait for you. All right, so hopefully you now have turned the video back on. We want to rearrange for delta t. So again, we need to get the delta t off the bottom, just like we did in the upper two. So multiply both sides by delta t. And so we'll end up having a delta t is equal to VF minus VI. Oops, there's no line there. That's just your imagination. Okay, so now I want to get the delta t all by itself, which means I need to get rid of the a. The a is multiplied by the delta t, so to get rid of it, I would need to divide. If I divide this side by a, I need to divide this side by a. The a cancels here, and we're left with delta t is equal to VF minus VI over a. Okay, so now I want you to take a few minutes and I want you to try the next one. So stop the video, try the next set, turn the video back on, and I'll do them for you. Okay, so just the next set, because I don't want you to go too far and make like a mistake and then not catch it. So try the next set and then turn the video back on and we'll do it. Okay? I'll wait for you. Go ahead. All right, I'm not actually stopping the video. Oops, my hand is causing glare. So the equation for number 2 is delta D is equal to VI plus VF divided by 2 times delta T. Okay, and in A, it wants us to rearrange for VI. So to get VI all by itself, first we need to get rid of the delta T because it's outside the bracket. So it's multiplied by the bracket, so to get rid of it, you should divide. So let me rewrite. Delta D is equal to VI plus VF divided by 2 times delta T. So divide both sides by delta T to get rid of the delta T over here. Okay, so now you're going to have delta D over delta T is equal to VI plus VF over 2. We're trying to get the VI by itself, so we need to get this 2 off the bottom, so then the VI will be free. So to get the 2 off the bottom, multiply both sides by 2. Okay, so now the 2's gone, so you have 2 delta D over delta T equals VI plus VF, right? And so then what do you do to get the VI all by itself alone? You need to get rid of the VF, so subtract VF from both sides. And so it becomes, I'm writing my VI on this side, these go, it becomes VI is equal to 2 delta D over delta T minus VF. Okay, so that's for A. B wants you to do the same thing but for VF. So we're going to take delta D is equal to VI plus VF over 2 times T. This time we want to get VF by itself. So it's going to be the same first steps. Divide both sides by delta T. So you'll have VI plus VF over 2, and the delta T's will go when you divide, right? And then you want to get the VF by itself, so you need to get rid of the 2. So multiply both sides by 2. So it'll be 2 delta D over delta T is equal to VI plus VF. It looks exactly like the first steps we did over there. Now we want the VF alone. You need to get rid of the VI. It's added to the VF, so you need to subtract it. And so it becomes VF is equal to 2 delta D over delta T minus VI. B is done. C wants you to rearrange for delta T. So delta D is equal to VI plus VF over 2 times delta T. Okay, now some of you might be tempted to just divide by this fraction, but you can't end up with a fraction in a fraction. So instead, get rid of the 2 first. Multiply both sides by 2, so it becomes 2 delta D is equal to VI plus VF times delta T. Now you want the delta T alone, so divide both sides by VI plus VF. It'll cancel here. Your delta T is by itself, so you're done. Delta T is equal to 2 delta D VI plus VF. 2C is finished. All right. The third one, delta D is equal to VI delta T plus 1/2 A delta T squared. It wants you to rearrange it for VI. If you flip to the back, it wants you to do it for A and for delta T. The hardest one on the page is the delta T. Okay, so again, we're going to run out of time here because the video is almost up, but stop the video, come back for the 30 seconds that are left, and I can do at least the first one. Okay, so stop the video, come back when you've tried these 3. All right, so the new equation is delta D is equal to VI delta T plus 1/2 A delta T squared. And the first one wants us to solve for VI. Okay, so delta D, going to run out of time, VI delta T, 1/2 A delta T squared. We want to get the VI alone, which means we need to get rid of this term first. It's added, so